Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Selling Tampa Season 1, Episode 1. And y'all, I'm super excited because I'm loving the series a whole lot. A lot of you guys hit me on Twitter asking if I would review it, and I was like, I got you. Let me just start off by saying that I really enjoy the Selling Sunset series a lot. So when I saw that there was going to be a Selling Tampa series with a melanated cast, I said, all right, I will be there with bells on. Now, obviously, I'm going to be making some comparisons with both shows, but I'm just super excited to really get into this because this is a phenomenal show. And the drama is not too much, it's just right. I'm just loving it. So, without further ado, let's just jump right on into this recap because we don't have a minute to spare. We start off this first episode meeting Sherelle and Joanna. Sherelle is the owner of Allure Realty. She opened up her brokerage 2 years ago, and she's really excited to be one of the only all-minority-owned brokerages in Tampa. We find out that Sherelle is an Army vet, and she's also dating Ocho Cinco. We all know who Ocho Cinco is. We all know his history, so we don't even have to discuss all that. But they're together. They've been on and off, I think she said, for 2 years. And we also find out that Sherelle has 3 kids from her previous marriage. Joanna is Sherelle's right-hand woman, and that's one of the running jokes of the series. Like, what exactly does Joanna do? Is she HR? Is she the office manager? Because she seems to be in everybody's business. But anyhow, Joanna is also one of the agents, and she's Sherelle's friend on top of being her right-hand person. So now we see the both of them at this listing. It's this gorgeous property right on the lake, and we find out that they're going to be hosting an event with all the agents, and all the agents have to bring their clients because they want to sell this home. The home is being listed at $9 million, and the commission is going to be around, I think they said $270,000. So all the agents arrive, and we meet Ann Sophie and Colony. They're some of the 2 youngest agents at Allure Realty. They call themselves the nieces, and everybody else are the aunties. I said, come through with this Real Housewives of Atlanta reference, talking about the aunties and the nieces. But I digress. So anyhow, Ann Sophie is excited for the event, and she's also excited because she just knows in her heart that she's going to be the agent that gets this $9 million listing because she needs that commission. Ann Sophie says in her confessional that Tampa is a secret gem. There's a lot of money in Tampa. All the sports teams play in Tampa. We find out that Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, Tom Cruise, and a plethora of other people have some gorgeous $1 million homes here, and they're trying to get a piece of the pie too. So while Sherelle is prepping them for the event in a few days because she wants that home to be sold, she just lets all the ladies know, especially Ann and Colony, that this is not a dating event and that they need to dress appropriately. So now we jump to the next scene with Colony, and Colony is like a black Barbie in my opinion. So beautiful. She looked so gorgeous at her listing when she was showing her client around. And you guys caught how they were flirting with each other. It was so cute. So anyhow, Colony is one of the OGs at Allure Realty. She was one of the first agents to close one of the first deals. And she says that she used to be a preschool teacher, but her dad talked her into getting into real estate. She says that she loves what she does. She loves working for Allure because it's women who look like her. Because at the last brokerage she was at, she was the only chocolate chip in the cookie, if you get what I mean. So while Colony is showing her client around this gorgeous $6 million, 12,000 square foot home right on the lake.
I love it. I love it.
He's flirting with her, talking about, well, you know, I need a wife. And she's like, well, you know, once you get the house, you'll get the wife. And so they start laughing. I said, Colony, stop playing. Like, he is cute and he has a nice wallet. What could be better than that? So now we see Anne Sophie pull up to Colony's listing, and Anne Sophie says that she loves being a real estate agent. She loves the flexibility in her work schedule. She doesn't like dealing with authority, so it's perfect for her. She also says how she wants to build an empire. I'm like, baby, just crawl before you walk, okay? Like, you just got into real estate, sis. Like, let's slow it down, okay? And sis, the way you carry on in later episodes when it came to that $9 million listing, I think you need to reconsider talking about a real estate empire, because absolutely not. But let me not jump ahead. We're going to get on Anne Sophie later on because she pulled some real goofy behavior towards the middle of this season. But again, I digress. So anyhow, Colony's client leaves, and then it's just her and Anne Sophie talking. Anne Sophie wants the tea. She's like, okay, is he single? Like, what's the deal? Have you two ever dated? So Colony says, yeah, girl, we went out to dinner a while back. Like, it wasn't really any sparks for me, but you might like him. He might be a great fit for you. You want me to set you up? And Sophie's like, oh, okay. You know, she's kind of interested in the idea because she's looking to settle down with somebody's son and get wifed up. We now move on to the next scene with Sherelle, Joanna, and one of the agents, Tennille. They all meet up for drinks. Tennille automatically reminded me of Marlo Hampton in the face, the way she carries herself, and her personality. Tennille, in my opinion, has one of those dry personalities. She's one of those people who's very straightforward and blunt, but she's not blunt in a nice way. You feel me? She's kind of blunt in like a very rude way, but she likes to pass it off as, well, I'm just being honest. Like that. But I will say that I am on Tennille's side later on in the season when it comes to Miss Alexis. But again, let me not jump ahead. They're discussing their love lives, and Tennille is in a long-distance relationship with her man for 5 years. She says that, you know, it's going well, it's going smooth. And then, obviously, Sherelle's talking about her relationship with Ocho Cinco. We find out that she slid into Ocho Cinco's DMs, and I was like, really? I don't know. I'm just not the type who's going to shoot my shot at a man. You know, I just kind of feel like if a man wants you, he's going to hit you up first. Like, that's just me. I'm just not a fan of women shooting shots. But again, I digress. But Sherelle says that she got her man, but it is a bit tough with them having a long-distance relationship as well, because she's in Tampa, he's in Miami, and that's like 3 hours apart. So I was just thinking, girl, we all know of Ocho Cinco's track record. That man has a very hard time staying faithful to one woman. So I would be a little bit worried for other reasons than just y'all being in a long-distance relationship. Just my thoughts. I don't know. I don't really know what women see in him. And the fact that he has so many kids. I mean, I think he has, what, 7 kids? I'm just like, girl. And he's not really monogamous. That's just not a catch to me, but everybody has different deal breakers. Everybody likes different things, but she seems to just love Chad Ochocinco. So God bless. Side note, every time I even hear Ochocinco's name, I always think of Evelyn Lozada, unfortunately. And then I think about OG. I was so happy when OG pulled out her receipts and we saw that Ocho Cinco was in her DMs and he was talking about, hey babe, hey babe, hey babe. She got Evelyn real good, but let me not go off into a tangent, all right? So they're talking about their men, and Sherelle makes a comment like, well, you know how men are. Men have a hard time committing. So now Joanna interrupts and says, well, girl, that's not really true because my man proposed to me after only a year of dating. And so we find out that Joanna is married. She's been married for 5 years. They don't have any kids together, but she does have a 22-year-old son from a previous relationship, and she's also a grandmother. And I have to say that Joanna is right, because it doesn't take a man years and years and years and years to know if you're the one or not. Okay? It just doesn't. I just feel like men know if they want you pretty soon. So, you know, someone's saying it takes 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 11 years. No.
No.
And of course, we find out that Miss Joanna is keeping a few secrets of her own in regards to her marriage. But again, let me not jump ahead. You know what's so funny? I feel like with majority of these shows, you can already get a sense of who you're going to like, who you're going to dislike from jump. And I already had a feeling that Joanna was going to rub me the wrong way. So now Joanna turns the conversation to the dress code for the upcoming event. She feels like some of the younger agents, i.e. Colony and Anne Sophie, dress a bit too sexy, and she wants them to cover up because this isn't an event with them trying to find men or go to the club. This is a professional event with them trying to sell some houses. And while I get it that dress codes are important, and of course you should want to look professional when you are at a professional event, but in the land of high-end luxury real estate, we see the women on Selling Sunset dress very sexy and very revealing every time they are showing a home. Okay, we see Miss Christine in 6-inch stiletto Louboutins and a Versace number with her boobs out. The lipstick is a bright red, the platinum blonde hair. I mean, she dresses very sexy when she's showing the homes, and she's closing those deals. So if the girls on Selling Sunset can dress sexy when they're selling homes, then I feel like Anne Sophie and Colony should be able to dress the same way. And I find Colony to be very tasteful when she's showing the houses. The outfit that she wore in the beginning of this episode, I thought it was very sexy but very tasteful at the same time. It wasn't too much. And she has a great figure, so it's like, you know, she can't help that. But I just kind of feel like Joanna's doing a bit too much with this, you know, this dress code, and they act like they're going to the club. And it's like, no, they don't look like they're going to the club. Like, they look very sexy, very tasteful. They look good. Like, you sound like a hater, in my opinion. Sherelle piggybacks off of what Joanna says, and she agrees. Now, Sherelle, you don't dress so modestly either. So, you know, coming from you, I was kind of surprised. And then when you guys are making jokes about how Colony is a gold digger, it was kind of like, but why is that an issue that a black woman, especially a beautiful dark-skinned black woman, wants to marry well? As she should. I am not mad at Colony for wanting the best man for the job who has some money to spare, all right?
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
We move on to Raina. Raina is one of the agents at Allure Realty, and I like Raina a lot. I just like her swag, I like her confidence, I like how she knows her stuff, and she is on her A game. We find out that she and Sherelle met years ago. They were neighbors when Sherelle was still with her ex-husband at the time. So they became friends, and you know, they've been really cool since then. So we also find out that Raina used to be a partner at a law firm, and she was one of the few black people at the firm. So she made the jump over to real estate, and she's killing it. Raina goes on to say that her clients really love her law background and the fact that she's always going to make sure that her clients get the best deal. So we see Raina at a listing. The house is going for $1.1 million, and the commission is going to be $33,000 for her. So she's showing her client around, and her client likes it, and she wants to put an offer on the house. So Raina is super excited. Oh, before I forget, Raina reminds me so much of Nicole Murphy. They look like they could be either distant cousins or maybe sisters, but they look a lot alike to me. I wonder if she gets it a lot, but I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly who she reminds me of, Nicole Murphy. But I digress. So now we move on to a short scene. It's Joanna and Sherelle. Joanna comes over to Sherelle's house because Sherelle is distraught. We find out that Sherelle's mom's home has burned down. And this is her childhood home where all of her and her siblings grew up. So everything was burned down. Nothing was salvaged except for the Bible. So Sherelle is crying. She says that she loves her mom so much and she wants to be by her mom's side. And because of this, she doesn't know if she's going to be able to attend this open house event with the other agents tomorrow. So Joanna's like, girl, whatever you need to do, like take care of your family, make sure that your mom is good. Like if you can't attend, that's not a problem. Like I'll hold down the fort. So then we find out that Joanna met Sherelle 3 years ago, and it started as a working relationship, but then it grew into a real friendship. And she says that if Sherelle needs her for anything, she has her back and she'll always be by her side. I will say that Joanna does seem to be a very good friend to Sherelle. You can tell that she really wants Sherelle to be okay. She's like, girl, I got you. Like, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Do what you need to do first because this is going to be here when you come back. Like, I got you. But you could tell that Sherelle felt very torn. You can tell that she's really weighing out her options. Like, should I go? Should I just stay here because I want this event to go well? And that's always a very sucky predicament to be in when you don't know what decision to make. But that is good to know that Joanna does have her back and can handle things if she does decide to go and be with her mom. But I was very happy to hear that Sherelle's mom was okay and that nobody was hurt. So now we move on to the next scene, and Joanna is calling all the ladies for a meeting. She informs them about Sherelle's mom and how her mom's house burned down, and because of this, Sherelle might not be at tonight's event. So she's like, whether or not Sherelle comes to the event, I need all of you ladies to be on your A game tonight, like be on your P's and Q's, just really step it up. So now Joanna changes gears in the conversation and she brings up the dress code. She says, just so everybody's clear, you guys all know what cocktail attire is, right? So they're all like, girl, of course we know what it means, like, duh. So now, of course, Joanna has to be super extra, and she starts reading the definition of what cocktail attire is. So everybody's like, girl, why are you doing this? So, of course, Joanna is low-key hinting that Colony and Anne dress a bit too sexy for these events. So Anne is like, so are we supposed to be dressing like grandma attire, like you? And now Joanna's like, me? Like grandma attire? Like, girl, who's that? And it was like, no offenses, but you definitely do give off grandma. But you can definitely sense the tension between Joanna and Colony and Anne, and you can just feel the shade. Anne says that Joanna is annoying and she likes to micromanage, and it's just very aggravating because it's like, well, girl, like, don't focus on what me and Colony are doing. Focus on these other agents who can't seem to sell a house. So we move on to the final scene of the episode, and it is the night of the event. Sherelle decided to come to the event because she says that her parents are fine and she needs for this event to run smoothly. So the guests start showing up, the champagne is flowing, and all the agents arrive. So at the party, there's this really pretty blown up picture of all the women, and it's the marketing promo for the agency. So child, Miss Rena walks over to look at the picture, and she sees that she is not in the picture. Rena is visibly upset, and she's like, why would you use the only picture with me not in it? Like, what does that say to the clients? What does that say to me? So, of course, Rena is pissed, and I felt Rena's pain. I would have felt pissed and humiliated too, because how dare you? I'm sitting up here selling these houses, making you money, and for you to exclude me from the marketing promo, that's a very big slap in the face. So we see the party going on, the guests are having a good time, some of the agents are showing their clients around the house, and they're hoping to hear an offer. It just felt like these women weren't that smooth with trying to sell this house. It was kind of like, so you want to buy it, right? It's beautiful, like it's big, just buy it. Like you want to spend the $9 million? There wasn't that smoothness, there wasn't that charm that we see on Selling Sunset, and that kind of aggravated me. Like, let everybody just enjoy the house, enjoy the event, enjoy the champagne. You don't need to force somebody to try to purchase the home. All of these guests know that this is an open house / party. They know that the name of the game is that you are trying to get them to buy this house. So this hard sell, trying to force them to open up their wallets to buy, it's like, just calm down. Just be cool with it. Don't be so desperate. You know what I'm saying? I was really screaming at how Colony was dragging the hell out of Joanna's dress at the event because that dress was ugly. It definitely gave me very much grandma's curtains. And she just wrapped it around her body and said it was a dress. I said, girl, you sitting up there getting on them about their choices, but meanwhile, you can't seem to put a cute dress on because that wasn't it. It was not giving what the girl said it was supposed to have gave, in the words of Rolling Ray. Baby, you need to go shopping with Colony and Ann, because they could actually get you right. I'm just saying, sis. So now we see Sherelle and a few of the other agents gather around the picture, and Sherelle's making a joke about how Rena wasn't in this picture. So now Rena walks over and she is pissed. She says, why would you pick the only picture that I wasn't in, Sherelle? Sherelle says, well, girl, that's because you had to leave early. So now Rena says, girl, absolutely not. That's not what it was. You guys started late. I was there on time, and I had let you know that I had to leave early because my daughter had her dance recital. Then Rena continues by saying that had they started on time, she would have been in every picture. So now Sherelle and Tennille, Alexis and Ann and Colony, they're all kind of laughing at Rena, and Rena's getting even more upset. So here's my thing. While I feel like Rena had every right to be upset and to call Sherelle out for that, that was just not the time or the place to do that. Because other guests saw what was happening, one of the athletes chimed in on the conversation, and I was like, now that wasn't professional. I feel like when you're a professional and you have an issue at an event, you don't let your guests see that there's some turmoil or some mess. That makes all of you guys look bad. I wouldn't have even let the guests know that I wasn't in the picture. Because one, who's staring that hard? Two, they didn't know that. Like, I wouldn't have known that unless she had told me that she wasn't in the picture. But I felt like you have to learn when to say things. And that just was not the time or the place. Wait until the event is over to bring up your gripes. So Rena and Sherelle are going back and forth, and Sherelle is being very dismissive of Rena and her feelings. And that's another thing that bothered me throughout this season. Sherelle is very dismissive. She cannot take criticism. She's very rude, and I just can't stand that, especially when it comes to Rena. So now we see Ann talking to Tennille and Colony and a few of the other agents on the side, and she says that Sherelle has a lot going on, and she wants to know if they feel like Sherelle can't handle the brokerage growing. So nobody really says anything, but you already know that since Ann has said that, somebody in that group is going to go back and tell Sherelle what Ann said. So just like I thought would happen, Tennille runs back to Joanna and Sherelle, and she's like, Sherelle, let me just tell you, but some of the other ladies are questioning if you can handle all this. So of course, Sherelle is upset hearing this. She wants to know who asked that, and whoever did ask that needs to check the numbers because she's a top-selling broker. Now, while that might be so that you are a top-selling broker, sis, all throughout this season, we don't see anybody except for Miss Rena sell a house. I'm just saying. But more on that later. So we see the event winding down. Cherelle makes a toast and she's thanking everybody for coming. And then she says how she wants to build an empire and she's here to stay. So honey, as she's giving her speech, Rena leaves the event early because she is just over it. And that's where the episode ends. But y'all, that was the first episode of Selling Tampa. Selling Tampa is a cute girl. You can definitely feel the similarities and the differences between them and Selling Sunset. And I'm here for it. The drama, the dynamics between Cherelle and the ladies is all very fascinating. And especially as we get further into the series and we see the dynamic between Rena and Cherelle fall apart. But y'all, that was my recap. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.